Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Babyface Gang. If you've been here before, drop a baby emoji in the comments below, and if you haven't, then drop a baby bottle. So tonight I wanted to go ahead and do a story time about some crazy shit that happened to me recently at work. So let's just jump into it, y'all. So basically, let me just give y'all the background so that y'all understand exactly what's going on in the story. So I have a manager, right? And she's a female manager, and she basically hurt her foot, okay? So she's not able to do a lot of the things that she did before because of her foot, as far as lock the doors at night. Since I do leave late, I get off at 11 p.m., so we have to lock up the building when we leave so that, you know, everything's safe and secure and everything like that. I mean, y'all get me. So, you know, we gotta lock up the doors and everything like that. So, me and my friend Stacy, we basically decided to be the ones to help her out, okay? Because the niggas that work with us was just like, we out, like, it's late, we want to go home, y'all got it, y'all female got it, because everything is always get put on the black woman anyway, so they just like, you know what, don't worry, y'all got it. So we just like, okay, so, but we volunteered to do it anyway, okay? So we are the only ones that legit like help her every night, just me and Stacy, right? Because that's my dog. Like, we gonna help her, you know, it's not a problem. She need help, we got you. So it's really just me and her most of the time, right? Or all the time it's just me and her. The niggas be leaving. But this particular night, Stacy decided to leave early. Let's take a drink on this part, y'all. Let's take a drink on this part. Cheers. I got some red wine in my cup. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a puff too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, we got off of work, we here, we safe, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's go ahead, take a puff. So, if you smoke vapes or whatever you smoking on, you ain't gotta tell me. Go ahead and take a hit. All right, y'all. So I'm ready. So basically, like I said, Stacy left early this day. So Stacy was not there, okay? Stacy probably left around 5 o'clock. And I told y'all I get off at 11 o'clock. So it's just me. And I'm like, you know what? I got this shit. Like, I got this. Ain't no problem. I'll lock the doors. No problem. So it started off around 10 p.m. I'm just going to give y'all everything that happened in this story so y'all can rock with me. Y'all know exactly what's going on. So around 10 p.m., my manager was like, can you go lock the double doors? Now, mind you, the double doors is not what we go out of. We go out of a different secured room. Okay, so the double doors is just another set of doors that we need to lock. So I was like, yeah, I'll go lock them. Where the keys at? And she was like, ain't no keys. And I was like, oh, okay. Ain't no keys. So how I'm gonna lock the door? And she like, oh, you just twisted, but the other one you used the key. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just gonna twist it. She was like, yeah, just twist it to the left, pull on it. You go see a little red light, blink and stuff to let you know that the door is locked. When you see the red light, that means that the door is locked. So I'm like, okay, so I go to the double doors and I'm like turning it to the left and I'm pulling it and, you know, making sure that it's red. And I'm like, okay, this door kind of janky because it kept blinking green. And then it's like, even though it was locked, it was still opening. So I was like, how do I know if this shit is locked? And then one of my homeboys was like, hey, do you want me to just come with you, make sure you lock it and everything? Since Stacy not here, I was like, yeah, you could come, it's cool. This nigga don't even show up till like 5 minutes into me, like, basically already having the door locked. And so he's like, oh, you got it? And I was like, yeah, I got it. Like, it's already done. It's just janky. He was like, yeah, it's janky, but it's locked. He was like, it's locked. And I was like, yeah, I think it's locked too. It's locked. So we didn't worry about that no more because we was like, okay, the door is locked, which is really the truth. The doors was locked. So I go back in, you know, for my last little hour of work, taking my phone calls. Hello, may I speak with Mr. You know what I'm saying? And I'm taking my phone calls and everything like that. And then 11 p.m. comes. So when 11 p.m. comes, I'm like, ooh, log out. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay. So I tell my manager, I'm like, manager, I'm finna go get my stuff. I'll be back so I can help you lock doors. She was like, okay, cool. Go ahead. So I went to go get my purse and stuff because we can't have our purse inside the room. They don't want you on your phone. They don't want you, you know, doing shit like that. You got to be in compliance. They don't want it to seem like, oh, you may be taking the members' information or something like that. I don't know. So it's just for like the member safety and stuff like that. So I went to go get my purse and everything. And, you know, I came back in. And at this point, I just happened to pass by the back door because I had to go to the bathroom too. And so I passed by the secured room doors that I had locked earlier. So let me back up a little bit as well. After I locked the double doors, I went to the secured door and I had to open it for a coworker that was locked outside. So this is the secured room that we always go through. She was locked outside. I'm not sure how she got locked outside. I think she went on break and then couldn't get back in. So I went and I unlocked the door for her so that she could get inside. She got inside. I locked the door back. I wasn't thinking, oh, the niggas who don't want to stay and help our manager, they're going to want to zoom out of here, you know, before us. Because, you know, we take a little time. My manager hurt her foot. She moved a little slow. You know, and we just let her take her time because we don't want to rush her. I don't want to rush her, you know, so I'm just like, okay. But I wasn't really thinking. I was just like, okay, let me just lock the door back because all I'm thinking is lock the doors, lock the doors. We need to lock the doors. So I locked the secure room door and I went back to my chair, you know, finished my little hour of work. And when I was passing by later on, when I went to go get my purse and I'm going to the bathroom, it's like the rest of my coworkers who was like, trying to go and they're like, why is the door locked? We can't get out. Oh my God, why would you lock the door? And I'm like, okay, let me open the door for you. All you have to do is just twist it. And they're like, oh, okay. So I went, used my little hands, twisted it all, let them out. Bye. They left. Okay, so about a good, I don't know, 7 people or something, maybe not 7, but about like 4 people left. Okay, so they're gone, okay? They're gone, they're outside, they're in their cars, they went home, whatever. So I'm like, okay. So I went to go use the bathroom, and then I came out. I went back in there, checked my manager. I was like, you good? She was like, I'm good, let's go. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going into the main hallway. I turn off all the lights in the main building, and then we're going in the secure room so that we can leave. Now, mind you, it is just me and my manager, and there are a couple of people outside. So it is one of my coworkers, Fancy, and it is a girl out there. Her name is Kenny, and they're both outside. They're outside just chit-chatting, you know, chit-chatting, whatever. So they're outside the building, but they're right outside the secured room door, okay? And this is the door that me and my manager are gonna walk out as well so that we can get in our cars, go home. So they're already outside the building, and they're just out there. So that's Fancy and Kenny. They outside. I'm still inside with my manager, and so I go. We're walking, you know, to the secured room door, and I'm like, okay, let me get the lights. So I turned the lights off. I grabbed her boot. I had things in my hand because I had my stuff as well, right? So I have her things and I have my things. And I'm like, okay, give me the keys so we can go ahead, lock the door, we can get out of here. You know, I'm not thinking anything of it. It is my first time locking the doors though, because like I told y'all at the beginning, Stacy always does this. Stacy is always the one to lock the doors. Stacy just happened to leave early this day. So my manager gave me the keys, and she was like, okay, let's lock it up. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So, you know, we go outside. Literally, y'all. I'm sitting here with the keys trying to figure out how to do it because I've never done it before. Stacy always does it. So I'm trying to turn, and I'm like, yo, open the door, still open. I'm like, okay, this must not be the right way. So I'm just trying to figure out by myself because I'm like, I mean, it can't be that hard, you know? So I'm trying to do this. About like 30 seconds into me like doing this, all you hear is pop, 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 like gunshots. And so, and mind you, Fancy and Kenny are outside with me and my manager. And we all just kind of freeze. Like, and I'm down here squatting. I'm like squatting because I'm trying to lock the door, because you know it's at the bottom of the door. It's not like height level. It's at the bottom, like on the ground. So I'm trying to lock the door. I look up, like looking at them silent, just like, and everybody's looking at me too, like, and they're like, well, what do we do? And one of my coworkers, Kenny, she's like, her ride had literally pulled up while these gunshots are happening. Her ride pulled up and she was walking to the car. She turned back around in the middle of her walk and started running back to us. And she's like, what's going on? And you know, and so she's panicking, and I'm just like quiet, like, I don't know. And then I asked Fancy, I'm like, what was that? And he's like, gunshots. And he's just kind of like laughing about it. He's like, gunshots. Yeah, it was gunshots. And I'm like, okay. So I switched my whole goddamn like energy, and I'm like, no, I can't panic right now. I got the keys in my hand. I need to make sure that the doors are locked. So Kenny, the girl, she's sitting there panicking. She's like, do we stay out here? Do we go back in? Do we stay out here? Do we go back in? And I'm looking at my manager, and my manager is just looking like she didn't have an answer yet. And so I'm just like, let's just go. Like, I think we should just go. You know, like, we should just go. And so everybody's like, yeah. I think we should go. Because ain't no point in just, like, waiting inside, being scared on some lockdown-ass shit at, like, 11:30 at night. It's just too much. And I was there, like, all day anyway. I'm like, look, I'm ready to go. So they was like, yeah, let's just go. And so, so I'm like giving my stuff to Fancy. I'm like, can you just hold this for a second so I can lock the door? I can focus on locking the door. He's like, yeah. Then this nigga drops my shit. While I'm sitting there trying to turn the door, he dropped everything. And he's like, oh, is that your stuff? I'm like, yeah, that's my stuff. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, fans. Don't worry about it. And then you hear, bow, 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 bow. You just hear more gunshots. And I'm like, because my body is trying to panic, right? Like, my mind trying to panic and shit. So I'm like, nah, can't do that shit. And so I was like, let me ask for direction. This is what I should do, because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to get accomplished just sitting here twisting, turning. So I'm like, manager, which way do I need to turn the key? She was like, turn it all the way to the left and then pull it. And I was like, bet. So I turned it all the way to the left, pulled it. It was a little difficult to turn it, because it's a little raggedy. The building is a little raggedy. It's a little old. So I'm like, okay, finally fucking got it. And so I'm just like, okay, we hearing gunshots, and we know that they was coming from like behind us. They was coming from like behind us, like across the street, I want to say, but I can't tell you exactly where. That's where they was coming from. And I'm just like, yeah, fuck this shit. I locked the door. I was thinking in my head, ooh, thank you, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So I locked the doors, and we was all getting the fuck on. People started getting to their cars and everything like that. So we was like, yeah, it's all good. You know, like, they went to their cars. I got my manager stuff in my hand. I'm walking her to her car, open her door, make sure she Gucci, you Gucci, bye. I went to my car, got in, and then I started panicking, because I'm like, oh my God, I was looking for my phone. I don't know why I couldn't find my phone, y'all. I was like, oh my God, where is my phone? So I'm just like, I'm like, have a lot of adrenaline in my body, because I just heard gunshots. You know, you don't just be hearing that shit every day. You know, so I'm just like, okay. I'm looking for my phone, and I'm like, oh my God, please don't tell me I left it in the building. I don't know why I would think that, because my phone is always in my purse anyway. So I don't even know why I would think that in the first place. But I was like, I don't know where the fuck my phone is. Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, oh my God, please tell me I have my phone. Found my phone. It was in my purse. It was just like hidden. So I was like, oh, I got my phone. Thank you, Lord. So I'm in the car, started my car, started driving home, freaked the fuck out. But I was happy that I was able to lock the doors and I did not panic under pressure, y'all. But that's what the fuck happened. So this is Thursday night, okay? So we all go home, everything like that. Now, mind y'all, I do not work Friday, Saturday, Sunday at my first job. I work my second job Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I was done with that job. Thursday night, boy, I made it out alive. And I went the fuck home. And I was like, okay, we good. Why, y'all, did something happen on Friday? Hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. Take a drink. Cheers. Y'all, why on Friday morning I get a text from my coworker Taylor? She cool as fuck, y'all. She texts me talking about, cause I sent her a voice message that night, like, yo, you won't believe what the fuck happened. Like, niggas had gunshots. I was sitting there trying to lock the door. She's like, what? That's crazy. Next fucking morning, she sent me a voicemail talking about a voice message talking about Shantae, some crazy fucking shit is happening over here. I'm like, what? She's like, girl, it was a man in a parking lot with a knife chasing people around. I'm like, you fucking lying. It was not a man in the parking lot of our workplace chasing someone around with a knife. Like, what the fuck? So I'm like, are you fucking serious? And she's like, yeah, girl, it was somebody in the parking lot chasing people around with a knife. Like, he went after our main boss, chasing her around with a knife. And then he tried to chase some other girl. Her name is Karen. And when he went up to her with the knife, she was like, you don't want to do that because I got a gun. And then he backed up. He was like, oh, okay. So he calmed down after she threatened him with a gun. Don't know if she really had a gun, but he calmed the fuck down after she told him, look, bro, I got a gun. So he chilled the fuck out. And but he was still chasing people around in the parking lot with a knife. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this shit is not safe. Like, we need some security at night. Like, we need something to just make us feel safer, because it's literally just us women there. Like I told y'all, it is really just me, Stacy, and my manager, who is a woman. Like, it is just us women that really be there, like, that late, you know? And yeah, we all looking out for each other and we all looking around, but I mean, it's like, a man could do some damage quickly, you know what I'm saying? Like, we women, you know? So I was like, yo, this shit is fucking crazy. I couldn't believe that it was somebody in the fucking parking lot chasing people around with a knife. I'm like, what the fuck? And what are the odds? Like, I just wasn't there for that shit, thank God, you know, because I just don't work that day at that job. But it was some crazy ass shit, y'all. Like, crazy as fuck. I'm just happy that, like, I'm good. Nigga wasn't, like, face to face with us with a gun. You know, ain't nobody get hurt. Everybody was safe. Ain't nobody lost their life. Ain't nobody got injured. So thank God for that. But y'all, that was my story time about some crazy wild ass shit that happened to me at work. Thank y'all for watching my channel. Thank you for just supporting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing. And that means I love y'all so much, y'all. And I will be back at it again next weekend with another video for the hoe, putting on a show. You know I'm smoking dope. And you know that nigga is a foe. But I don't be fucking with the foes, cause I'm too fucking real. Yeah, I'm too fucking trill. Yeah, I'm too fucking ill. I make your nigga and your bitch pay her bills. And that's the fucking end of the story, y'all. I love y'all so much. Y'all have a fucking amazing fucking morning, fucking night. And y'all just cherish your fucking life. And just be happy that you fucking alive. I know shit be stressful and we be worried about little shit. But when you have a moment like that, it really just puts everything into perspective for you. And you really just realize how grateful you are just to be alive. So, yeah, guys, that was my crazy story. I hope you guys have a wonderful night or morning. Bye.